The future is approaching fast. Don't blink. Welcome to the Auto Brief News, broadcasting live from our studio in Switzerland. I'm Amber Light, your resident telemetry architect and digital visionary.
And I'm Jim Carner. Keep the shiny side up, mate. I am the man who was left sitting in a drafty converted barn in the Peak District, wrestling with a stubborn distributor cap on a 1972 BMW.
Leapmotor is aiming a digital bullet straight at the heart of the European hatchback market. We are talking about the all-new B05 today.
Right, Leapmotor. The B05. Another electric C-segment hatchback promising to revolutionize mobility, while weighing as much as a small commercial building and making exactly zero noise. I read your brief on the autobrief.news, Amber. A digital bullet in the heart of the Rheingau. Very poetic for someone who usually dreams in binary code.
When the engineering is this elegant, Jim, it inspires poetry. This is Leapmotor's first truly sporty electric vehicle, and they're pitching it with the tagline, "Sporty elegance, everyday thrill." And before you roll your eyes at the marketing speak, you need to look at the chassis telemetry, because there is a lot here that even a cynical, analog purist like yourself is going to find fascinating. But before we put the B05 on the lift and pull off the aerodynamic wheel covers, let's align our frequency with our period-correct partners.
This transmission is brought to you by our partners at mynotespace.com. In an era where your telemetry is stored in a cloud server you can't see, touch, or trust, you need a physical backup. If it isn't written down, it's just a rumor. Keep your data analog at mynotespace.com.
All right, let's decode the Leapmotor B05. Let's start with the architecture, because this is where the industry is separating the pioneers from the dinosaurs. The B05 is built on an innovative cell-to-chassis, or CTC, architecture.
Ah yes, cell-to-chassis, where the battery isn't just a heavy box bolted to the floor pan. It literally is the floor pan. It's the structural backbone of the car.
Exactly. By integrating the battery directly into the vehicle's structure, they improve energy efficiency, reduce weight, and significantly increase interior space. But here's the metric that should make you sit up straight. It gives the B05 a torsional stiffness of 34,500 Newton meters per degree.
34,500 Newton meters per degree. Okay, I will begrudgingly admit, that is volt-like rigidity. For context to the listeners, a lot of modern supercars hover around the 30,000 mark. If the chassis is that stiff, the suspension actually has a stable platform to work from, instead of the body flexing like a wet noodle every time you hit a mid-corner bump.
And the suspension setup isn't just an afterthought. They co-developed the B05 with Stellantis' global chassis team to specifically tune it for European driving expectations. We are talking about a McPherson strut front and a multi-link rear suspension.
Wait a minute, let's back up. Stellantis chassis tuning. So they actually had European engineers, people who understand what a bumpy, off-camber B road feels like, calibrating the dampers.
The damping is incredibly refined. But here is the absolute clincher, Jim, the layout. The B05 is rear-wheel drive.
Rear-wheel drive? You're telling me this isn't a torque-steering, front-wheel drive appliance?
Rear-wheel drive paired with a perfect 50-50 weight distribution.
Well, I'll be damned. They actually used the classic sports car formula. Rear-wheel drive, a multi-link rear end, 50-50 weight distribution, and a chassis as stiff as a bridge truss. I might actually have to drive this thing. What's the power output?
The electric powertrain produces 218 horsepower, that's 160 kilowatts, and 240 Newton meters of instant torque. It will do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.7 seconds. And it features a dedicated launch control mode.
6.7 seconds is respectable. It's not face-melting hypercar speed, but it's exactly what a warm hatchback should be. It's usable power. You can actually wring its neck without instantly losing your driving license. But let's address the elephant in the room. Range and charging. Because if I take it out for a spirited drive, I don't want to spend 4 hours plugged into a wall at a desolate service station.
Leapmotor offers 2 battery options. The standard 56.2 kilowatt-hour pack yields up to 401 kilometers of WLTP range. The 67.1 kilowatt-hour version pushes the range to 482 kilometers. and the fast charging capability is incredibly optimized. You can charge the battery from 30% to 80% in about 17 minutes.
17 minutes.
Yes. As I wrote in my brief, in the time it takes you to find your misplaced 10mm wrench in that chaotic barn of yours, I've gained another 200 kilometers of electric freedom.
I know exactly where my 10mm wrench is, Amber. It's in my pocket. It's always in my pocket. But 17 minutes is quick. I'll give them that. Let's talk about the exterior design, though. You mentioned it has a wide-body coupe-inspired silhouette.
It has a phenomenal road presence. The shoulder width is a class-leading 1,880 millimeters. It looks incredibly planted. They've given it clean, sculpted lines, frameless doors, and hidden door handles to keep the aerodynamic profile as slippery as possible. The drag coefficient is an impressive 0.26, and the blade-style lighting signature looks incredibly sharp. It rolls on 19-inch aerodynamic alloy wheels.
Frameless doors on a hatchback. That is a touch of old-school pillarless coupe glamour. I like that. But what happens when you open those frameless doors? I am bracing myself for the interior. Tell me they didn't just glue a television to the dashboard and take away all my buttons.
Welcome to the digital sanctum, Jim. The B05 features a dual-screen cockpit. You have an 8.8-inch digital instrument cluster directly in front of you, and the command center is a 14.6-inch central infotainment display powered by Leapmotor's latest operating system. It is lightning fast, intuitive, and seamlessly integrated with the Leapmotor app for remote climate control, charging scheduling, and digital key functionality.
A 14.6-inch screen. That is larger than the laptop I use to run diagnostics on my Porsche. Why do I need an IMAX theater in the center console of a sports hatchback? Driving is supposed to be about looking out the windshield.
It's about centralizing the mobile ecosystem. The UI is designed so that you spend less time searching for functions and more time enjoying the drive. And the cabin itself is beautifully refined. The upholstery is an eco-leather that is fully compliant with Oecotec's standards, meaning it's sustainably produced and free from harmful chemicals. You have a massive panoramic skylight, heated seats, and intelligent storage solutions. It's a very serene place to sit.
Until the car starts beeping at me because I crossed a white line. Let's look at the safety systems. The press release says it is equipped with 21 ADAS functions, supported by 14 sensors and cameras. 21? It's going to yell at me for braking too late. It's going to yell at me for accelerating too early. And it's going to fight my steering inputs. It's a rolling nanny state.
It is proactive and passive protection, Jim. It's designed to support driver confidence, not suppress it. The system is highly calibrated. You also have a high-strength body structure and a 7 airbag system for full cabin protection. They engineered it to be an incredibly safe envelope.
I prefer to rely on my own eyes and my own reflexes, thank you very much. But I will stop complaining for just 1 second, because we need to talk about the price. When I saw the specs, rear-wheel drive, 50-50 weight distribution, Stellantis chassis tuning, an 800-volt adjacent charging speed, and 218 horsepower, I assumed this was going to cost 45,000 euros.
The list price for the Leapmotor B05 starts at 26,900 euros.
That is almost unbelievable. In today's market, you can barely buy a stripped-out 3-cylinder petrol super mini for that kind of money. To get a dedicated rear-wheel drive electric platform with this level of engineering for under 27 grand is a massive disruption. It is going to give the traditional European manufacturers sleepless nights.
It is a highly targeted, design-driven proposition. Leapmotor is aiming this at dynamic, modern customers who want the next level of electric mobility without paying luxury premiums. It's an expressive choice. Let's tap into the social telemetry and see what our listeners think. It's time for the community poll.
Let me guess. You've put the mascot in Germany.
Exactly. Every week on our Instagram feed, represented by our helmet mascot, we pose a highly specific scenario. This week, you are behind the wheel of the new Leapmotor B05. You are driving along the elevated, winding roads overlooking the Rhine Valley. The mist is clearing. The rear-wheel drive chassis is dancing through the sweeping bends, and the panoramic skylight is letting in the morning sun. What 1970s cassette tape is playing in the cabin?
You are in Germany, carving through misty, sweeping roads in a machine that is a blend of mechanical grip and futuristic momentum. There is only one choice. It has to be krautrock. I'm sliding in Chan's Egerbamyasi, specifically the track Vitamin C. It has this incredibly tight, funky, repetitive drum groove that feels exactly like a precision-engineered chassis finding its rhythm on a winding road. It's analog, but it feels hypnotic and forward-thinking.
That is a brilliant, highly sophisticated choice, Jim. I am genuinely impressed. I am staying in the same geographical region, but leaning fully into the electronic synthesis. I'm choosing Tangerine Dream's Phaedra. The sequencer patterns on that album sound like pure electricity flowing through a circuit. It's the perfect, ambient, high-voltage soundtrack for a car that moves with digital precision. Let us know your choice in the comments of the Instagram post.
Tangerine Dream. Predictable. You probably play that while you compile your spreadsheets, Amber.
It increases my processing speed. All right, it's time to render our final verdicts. The garage rating. Green light, amber light, or red light? Jim, you first. The Leapmotor B05.
I am inherently suspicious of any car that requires an operating system to roll down the windows. I don't want a 14.6-inch screen blinding me at night, and I certainly don't want 21 different sensors judging my driving line. However, I cannot ignore the mechanical fundamentals. Rear-wheel drive, 50-50 weight distribution, a chassis with 34,500 Newton-meters of torsional rigidity, and Stellantis tuning. For under 27,000 euros, they have democratized the sports car layout for the electric age. I am shocked to say this, but it's an amber light from me.
For me, it is a resounding green light. The B05 proves that accessible electric mobility does not have to be anonymous or devoid of emotion. It utilizes the cell-to-chassis architecture brilliantly. The 17-minute fast charging is highly practical, and the design language is effortlessly chic. It is exactly the kind of disruption the market needs.
A green light. We really need to find a terrible car to review next week.
That wraps up this episode of The Studio. You can read my short blog post and explore the full telemetry of the Leapmotor B05 in our garage archive at theautobrief.news.
And do not forget to sign up for our Friday newsletter, The Telegram, which is still written on paper, with ink, and free of 14-inch touchscreens.
I'm Amber Light. The future is approaching fast. Don't blink.
And I'm Jim Carner. Keep the shiny side up.